Oh, welcome to the Sharpe Way Show. So happy to have you with me this evening, a little bit after 7 p.m. on the East Coast. Yep, late start today. I know I had an insane day today. It was a good day, but maybe a good day. It was a day that was full of challenges, is what I would say. There we go. Interesting day, trying to move things forward as always, but I did not want to not have a show. And as those of you who've been paying attention to me for years know, I try to have holiday shows when I can and to talk about things like culture and family and friends and things that matter, not just politics, right? Politics is important. Obviously, I'm all about politics, but it isn't only about politics. It's also about family and friends and what I often bring up, which is happiness, right? We've just had some bad news. There was an event, I don't want to get in trouble on YouTube, that happened at a DMV in Delaware, where a law enforcement agent, I think, was harmed. I'm not sure I think he was harmed. And the person who did the act was ended. And, again, happy people don't do this. Happy people don't go off and harm others. Always remember, hurt people hurt. I know that sounds so trite, and it is absolutely true. As it is trite, it is still true. And I need us to understand that happiness does matter. And this is, by the way, obviously this is a holiday show and holiday season. Tomorrow's Christmas Eve. Day after is Christmas Day. And whether you celebrate or not, it's still the holiday season. So whatever your actual things are. And if you do celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas to you. If you don't, happy holidays or whatever the case may be. But either way, I hope you enjoy and know that it is a tough time sometimes. But I wanted to bring up something specific. People often talk about communicating with your family and or friends, whatever the case may be, during the holiday season. And I saw something that popped up recently, locally in New York, a New York City, WPIX channel 11. And they were talking about, how to communicate with people. And I wanted to bring this up because it seemed kind of interesting. Some of it's utter garbage, but it's the same things. It's the same people, always trying to give you the advice that matters. And here we go. I want you to see this and see if you will enjoy it as much as I did. Oops, wrong one. That's the one. There we go. All right.
As it becomes increasingly divisive topic, it can make people feel uncomfortable and not welcome. In fact, a survey from the American Psychological Association found more than 2 of 5 young adults are skipping holiday gatherings because of political differences.
Think about that people are starting to skip holiday gatherings because of political differences. Now, I brought this up about a month or so ago during the Thanksgiving time frame and how there were people who were literally saying, you shouldn't go talk to somebody. You shouldn't go see somebody if they think differently. They voted differently than you. For those of you who remember when RFK Jr. was running last year and his family not only said, we don't support him, but they said he was bad and dangerous and all the things and terrible and all those things. You remember that. They were all Biden supporters. Now, I want to be clear. You do not have to support somebody politically because of your family. Of course not. Of course not. That would be crazy to even imagine that. Can you? Yes. If you think they're good because fine, but you're not required in any way to be like, well, because he's my cousin, I have to support. Of course not. Or whatever. Your brother, you don't have to support them. If my daughter decided to, run as a communist or something, I'm not a communist, obviously, but if she decided to run as one, I wouldn't publicly attack her. What I would do is I'd have an issue with her privately, but publicly, if someone said, well, Larry, what about your crazy communist daughter or whatever? I would say, I love my daughter publicly. I love my daughter and we disagree, but good luck to her. That's it. That's all I'm going to say. I love my daughter. We disagree. Good luck to her. I'm going to leave it at that. Privately, we might have special issues, but that's different. That's between me and family and your family. You should have that issue. But publicly, when RFK Jr.'s family, not all of them, but I think it was 6 or 7, whatever they were, said that, I was very aggressive. And I said, shame on them. And I stand by that today. Shame on you or anybody else who would turn on your family publicly because of politics. That's embarrassingly bad. You should not be turning on your family publicly because you want a virtue signal to strangers. And that's what we've done. We've made a world where we virtue signal to strangers and attack people who are family. That's how backward we've become. Well, I got to call out my cousin who voted for Trump or who voted for Harris. I got to call him out. Why? So strangers can click a like button. That's your family. When you can't pay your rent, are strangers going to give you the money to pay your rent? Probably not. Your family might. I mean, they may not also, but they might. Strangers. Let me keep moving down here.
How are we supposed to handle it? What are we supposed to do?
That is a great question. So we have the expert in the house, Joanna Massey.
She's the expert who you can't pronounce her name.
Is the author of the book titled Free Speech is Not a Free Pass to Spew Hate.
Now, off the bat, she's obviously full of shit. Off the bat. Here it is. Free speech is not a free pass to spew hate. Literally wrong. Free speech is literally a free pass to spew hate. Yes, she is demonstrably wrong, and obviously it doesn't get it at all. So will she give you some advice? Yes, but will it be garbage in general? Of course. So I will, of course, debunk this garbage. But yes, free speech is not a free pass to spew hate. It literally is. Like, what she says is utterly wrong. Now, you can say, I don't like your free speech when it spews hate. True, no worries. I actually agree with that. I don't like it when you do it. Yeah. But it is literally a free pass to spew hate. It is. Anyway, let's move on.
She's here to help us navigate through topics with grace. Welcome to New York Living. This is a
navigate topics with grace. I do like that.
In some way.
I hope so, and thank you for having me this morning.
Of course. So the holidays, why is it that for some reason there are some folks who decide this is the perfect time to talk about politics?
I think there's a combination.
There's a couple reasons why this happens. I get this completely. People do want to show off. People do want to show how smart they are. It's a common thing. We all want to be respected or loved in some way. It's a common thing we do, right? So I think that's one of the reasons. If people around me aren't hearing me, and my family kind of has to, I may want the family to do so. It's possible.
Of things that, first of all, any time can be a good time to talk about politics, but the holidays tend to get it a little more reactive because we're right now in an age where politics is not about policy, it's about personality.
Now, this piece is very much on point. She's right. Very often it's about personality. In many ways, on both sides of this. Piece number one, many times politics is about an individual who I like or I respect or I listen to, right? So what if I'm a Trump supporter? Oh my God, you can't be anti-Republican because I love Trump and that's the reason why. So if you're against me, you hate Trump and I love Trump. So it becomes almost like a baseball team, or like I like my singer better than your singer, my celebrity is better than your celebrity. It becomes there's a part of that. That part is true. Now, of course, it's not 100%, but there is a part of that, right? I'm a libertarian, so I love Ron Paul. You can't say bad things about Ron Paul, right? So that kind of thing begins to happen here or there. So I think there is part of that. But there's a second piece to this also, which is some people you'll find actually take their politics as part of their personality. So I'm a libertarian, so my libertarianism is my personality, and I live off of that as my personality, right? That's not true for me. I mean, I am libertarian, clearly, but I'm not, you don't even see the word around me. You don't see the word any place. You don't hear me saying it all the time. I just do me, whatever is me, right? But there are some people who everything's liberty, liberty, or Republican, conservative, conservative. Or they'll say things like, me talking as a conservative, they'll say things like that. Or, as a liberal, as a progressive, they'll say those types of things, which means that's part of their personality. Not necessarily a bad thing, but if you now attack conservatism or attack progressivism, well, now you're attacking their personality. It's no longer about the idea or the ideology. It's about the individual. The attack becomes personal by default. And the problem is if you aren't that person, it becomes hard for you to understand the other person, right? So if I'm some guy I'm a progressive and that's how I identify, and you attack a progressive concept, I can take that personally, even though you're not personally attacking me. You don't like this policy or idea. I'm taking it personally. For you, you have to understand that when you have that conversation with me, right? oh, you're conservative, and I don't like something conservative. Well, if you take that as personal, as you identify, you can take it the wrong way. I have to accept that as true before I have the conversation. So this is a very valid point.
And that really changes things. And then when you add on to that.
Now, why do I bring it up? You often hear me say things like, when I talk about Mom Donnie, when I talk about Trump, those people are personalities. And a lot of people really like them personally. You'll hear me often qualify or back off and say, look, however you feel about him is X. However you feel about it is Y. I'm trying to separate the person from the policy so that person can say, oh, okay, you don't hate Mamdani. You don't hate Trump. You just don't like the policy. Okay, now I can at least have a conversation. But if I think you hate Mamdani, hate Trump, I can't talk to you. That's how it feels. You'll often hear me say that. That's how I kind of prep, right? I kind of prep and go, okay, oh, no, hold on. I'm not saying that this guy is bad. I'm saying this policy, this issue, this idea, this part. And now we have a conversation. The same with the individual. Dude, I don't know about you, right? This one, I'm distancing myself from the individual. I don't know about you. I'm saying this thing on like. And then, okay, you're not talking about me. And you might go, Larry, why do I have to say that? It's so obvious. Why do I have to say that? Because this woman just said she's right. A lot of politics now is personality. Sometimes you have to actually say it, or people just aren't going to get it. Rick, thank you for the $10, my friend. Merry Christmas. Yes, thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Merry Christmas to you too. I do thank you for the $10. It's a nice super chat. Guys, if you want to super chat, feel free to. You can, of course. I know some people go, Larry, can I super chat now? Yes, you can super chat now. This is not Sharpe. This is not Larry Sharpe. This is Sharpe Way. So with Sharpe Way, you can just super chat if you want to. Feel free to super chat if you want to. Become a member if you want to. Do all the cool things that you might want to do. Do them right now. You can Rumble, rant if you want to. I'm on Rumble too. If you want to, get your stuff right to the front. Feel free to do all those if you like. This is Sharpe Way. You may. The YouTube gods allow us to. So there we go. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Rick. I appreciate the support. HVAC Soldier says, if you don't agree with me, then you are my enemy. That's how that works. Again, if I can separate, if I can preface and separate, I have a chance of that not happening. Now, some people are so tied. They are mostly tied to the personality. It's almost impossible. But if I can separate that, if I can preface it by separating, then you can still have a conversation. It might be heated, but I can have it. If I just go, that Trump guy sucks. If you love Trump, we're fighting. Enemy. If I go, I hate that he's bombing Venezuela. Oh, why do you hate Trump? No, I'm not saying Trump's bad. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is I don't like the fact that he's bombing Venezuela. That I don't like. Now I got a chance at having a conversation. Now the person may love Trump and go, hey, he should bomb anybody he wants or whatever. He might do that. But at least he's not mad at me directly. It's like, okay, you're not saying you hate Trump because that person may have tied that himself to Trump. Personality, depending on the person, right? So I'm not saying that. I'm saying this issue I'm talking about. Now we have a conversation. Now there's respect going back and forth, right? Or the reverse. If I go, this thing is there. Oh, you hate conservatives. Oh, no, I'm not saying conservatives because that person likes conservatism to themselves. Same idea. So you're right, very common, but I think with the right prefacing and the right conversations, the problem is we also can't get triggered. And boy, is that hard. Because if someone just yells at me about, you hate Trump, you're a this, you're a that. I got that with the Ukraine war. There was no tomorrow. When I would say, we can't win this Ukraine war. What would I get? You're a Putin puppet. Why do you love Putin? Putin, you love Putin, Putin puppet. I'm like, I didn't say anything about Putin. I said we can't win this war. I didn't say Putin was good. I didn't say he was right. I didn't say anything about Putin. I didn't bring up his name or nothing. I just said we can't win this war. And I was a Putin puppet. Now, the problem is I now have to be able to go, okay, I'm not going to get mad. I'm not going to I'm not going to defending Putin. I'm not going to attacking you personally. And that's not easy when I'm getting hammered and attacked and called names. But if you're in with your family and friends during holidays, guys, go there knowing this is an issue. Go there understanding this is an issue so you can make that work. Missy goes, people are exhausting. True. But they're the best thing we have. So yes to both of those. They're the best thing we have. By the way, if you like what I'm saying, click the button known as Lima, India, Kilo, Echo. Click that button if you could now and share and repost this in other places so we can chat and people can chat back about this. If you have not subscribed to this page. If you have not subscribed to this channel or follow it, please do so now. It does matter. Every bit does count. We'll grab a couple more pieces from her.
A little bit of alcohol, a little forced fun, any family dynamics that are lingering out there that haven't been resolved over years and years. And you start to get into one of those really intense discussions and people are going to get defensive. Our automatic system is going to kick in. We are going to, it's going to become fight, flight, or freeze.
Fight, flight, or freeze. Yes. Generally speaking, you see it all the time. The people who are more left-leaning, flight. They just leave. They won't be part of it. They're dismissive. Just dismissive. They won't show up to the event. Right? They won't do it. People who are more right-leaning, fight. More, generally speaking, they fight more. That's general rule. Obviously, personalities matter, but you'll see it. She's right.
Let's have a discussion and learn more about each other.
Yeah. And you say that social media adds to this, kind of adds heat to the fire. How so?
Absolutely. First of all, we all know this. Well,
this part's very important too. Social media is huge. It's huge. It has made us feel like our bubble is reality, and anyone outside of our bubble is the enemy. And it also makes us understand that fighting is fun. Yes. Phil says alcohol, a universal lubricant. However, it is what I call a social lubricant. I used to call alcohol liquid courage. Liquid courage or social lubricant. Absolutely. Yes.
Most people know this, but AI has been impacting our life for way over 30 years now because it started back when Google came about, right?
True.
Yeah, when Google search started, it was
these women are like, really? I didn't know that. Terrible interviewers.
AI because it had to take all this information on the internet and bring it down to here. And so we've been dealing with AI for 30 years. So we've been getting segmented for 30 years.
This is true.
And so, but what happens is social media algorithms are actually programmed, right? They're programmed to keep you scrolling. Right. Well, what keeps you scrolling? Intense emotions, right? Anger, hatred, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be, she's right, but it can also be joy, can be jealousy, could be happiness, could be all those things. Yes.
Things that you want to comment on, you want to forward.
Clickbait.
Yes, you want to, you know, it just keeps you engaged.
Yeah.
I clickbait sometimes too. I know Mike gets mad at me when I do it.
You engaged. So I like to say that, and I say in my book, our problem is not red or blue, it's green. Right.
It's capitalism. That's the problem. Of course. Of course. Of course it is. Mike, you should know that. Capitalism. That's the problem. Capitalism is the problem. There we go. Absolutely. Wait a minute. Mike says she doesn't know what she's talking about. AI is not search algorithm. She doesn't know what she's talking about and ignores the intentions of the programmers. Because capitalism, God might get with the program. Capitalism is what it is. God. Rick Boy says, so much black pilling people, I came in to be gold pilled. I am gold pilling, my friend. The actual answer, as I keep telling you, is having people have conversations. Let me work on the first piece I'm going to bring up here. When you're dealing with somebody who is upset or angry, if they actually want to have a conversation, that's separate. They don't. How do we get them there? The first thing you can do, if it's somebody who you care about in your family, is you can actually say something to them when they start talking. They start getting upset. Oh, you know, Rick, you and your libertarian garbage, you guys are just crazy, you're selfish and blah, 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 whatever they might start saying, or why their view is the best, whatever the case may be. Before you respond, even if, assume if they attack you, you can say something like, and again, your own words on this, but some way getting across that you still love them or that you still respect them. Either one, you decide which one works more. Some people are more concerned about respect. Some people are more concerned about love. Depends on the people and your own dynamics in your family. But something like this. Rick, you know I respect you, right? Something just like that. Before I start saying what I'm going to say, because you're hitting me hard. Rick, you know I respect you, right? And what will happen is they'll very often dodge the question. They won't answer. They'll dodge it. Well, Dad, then why are you saying blah, blah, whatever? Or that she just talk. They'll try to dodge it. You have to just quietly calm for a second and then repeat it. Rick, come on now. You know I respect you, right? Well, then you're saying so. You know I respect you, right? I mean, you know that, right? Well, yeah. Okay. Now have a conversation. That may seem silly. But when you're being attacked, you also will often feel like either you're not being respected or you're not being loved. Again, you decide your family members, you know your family is better than I do. And that may not be the exact words to say. Maybe you change how you say it. right? So you might say like, hey, Rick, you know there's love here, right? What do you mean? You know there's love here, right? This is about, there's love here, right? Again, I made up how you would say it. Say it in any way you would say it. Right? To get someone to understand that there is love and or respect between the two of you. You do this right in the middle of the conversation. You just stop it and you won't move forward until they acknowledge it. You don't move forward until they acknowledge it in some way. Yeah, fine. Yeah, there is. Great. Now we keep talking. Because that, I guarantee you, if they acknowledge that there is either love and or respect there, and again, you decide how to make that happen, but make it happen, it will calm things down. Because remember what anger actually is. Anger is actually a perceived lack of respect or lack of control. That is why people get angry. If you feel respected and you feel controlled or out of control, disrespected or out of control, you'll be angry. If you feel like you are respected and you feel like you are in control, you don't get angry. You feel something else, but you don't feel angry. Anger comes from those two things. If you can put that out there, the person will be less angry. You can have a conversation. Maybe even change subject. Maybe change subject if you want to, whatever the case may be. If someone gets to a point where they just keep saying that something is bad or horrible or sad or mean, you go to the next piece, which is, hey, Rick, I mean, I see you got mad at sister. I see you got mad at mom. I see you get mad at me now. Dude, why are you acting so angry? Note what I said. Why are you acting so angry? Why are you acting this? Right? Something like that. What's with the anger act? Some kind of act. You're saying act. Because they will, of course, immediately go, what are you saying? I'm an asshole. Didn't say that. I said, you're acting this way. Why are you acting this way? Now, what happens? They might start saying things that are really bothering them. If they're saying the thing that's bothering them, you can have that conversation. You might have to go back to the respect and love thing again. You might have to. Note what I'm saying. These are longer conversations. We often don't want them because this person's correct. We often go into fight or flight or freeze. So I go into fight. I just start yelling back at you. Or I fight. I walk away. Or I freeze. Just say nothing while you yell. None of those help. I have to engage in some way. I have to engage in some way. And if the question isn't respect, if the question is love, often some form of physical touch is helpful. Touching the arm, touching the shoulder, that kind of thing. Generally speaking, you don't want to go on for a very close piece because the person will then feel like I'm fighting. Just a touch in the arm. Rick, you know there's love here. Touching the arm. Right? You know that, right? And then I get it. All of a sudden it begins to come together. This starts to happen. We will find that people have a better conversation. They may even end the conversation, which might be good because they ended it voluntarily, not because you said, shut up, or whatever you might have said because you intimidated them in the past or something, right? So I know I'm going a bit long on this, but these kind of conversations matter. This is what makes people feel better and want to have conversations. If you care about your family and friends, and maybe you don't, but if you do, these types of conversations will make things better. That's all I'll say. They're not going to magically fix, 30 years or 20 years of pain. It's not going to fix that all of a sudden, right? But can it make this night better so that you can have better stuff in the future? Yes. That it could absolutely do. That it can deliver.
Meaning it's not about Democrats or Republicans. It's about money.
Right.
The social media makes money by keeping you scrolling.
See that?
And so those algorithms are programmed to keep you scrolling.
See, I got you scrolling here. I don't know how, but it's all about money. Yes. See that? Subscribe and give me money. That's why. It's all money.
It is not the most popular thought that gets out.
So it's not left and right. It's not that. That hasn't destroyed our nation or made us hate each other. No. It's because money. Money's bad. That's how it works.
It's the most salacious thought that gets heightened.
Yeah. Yeah, the more people that engage, the more likely it is to come up on your algorithm, right?
That's right.
And then information that used to take years, if not ever, circulate can now go around the world in
a hot second. In a hot second. Gone.
See? That's why. I don't know what that meant.
For the dinner parties where you were sitting and trying to remember the name of that actor that played in that movie. Let me just look on my phone. You say that there are 3 simple steps we can.
Oh, she got 3 steps. Okay. What's the 3 steps?
Try to have a calm conversation? What are they?
Well,
3 steps.
I spent 30 years I spent 30 years in business, but I also have a PhD in psychology. And
Well, she's PhD. So, okay. Stop talking, all of you. Shh. PhD speaking. Shut up. She's talking. Go ahead, PhD. Tell us how to do things.
my business was communications, and the two of those things combined make me very interested in what's the problem and what's the underlying problem.
Okay,
and what's
got
the
that.
solution. And
There
so
we go.
I came up with 3 steps. They're really basic.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I gave them basic names to remember them. But one is
Tell
honor
me.
yourself. When I
See, honor yourself. See, that doesn't sound hokey at all.
start to get stressed and my shoulders are coming up to my ears, what do? Take a deep breath. Like, seriously, it works. It distracts the mind.
Okay, this part's correct. Taking deep breath is good. However, there's a big however with this. Your deep breath you take can be seen as an insult. So all of a sudden, again, I'm Rick, it's you, Rick. You're the one who did it today. So Rick starts saying, Larry, you're wrong, cuz blah, blah. And I go, Rick's more pissed. It's an insult. The deep breath has to look like you are contemplating, like I'm thinking. I hope you are. So Rick starts telling me about all the things and why I'm so wrong. I'd be like, so I got to look like I am contemplating, not exhausted because Rick won't shut up, right? That's not what I want, because then Rick gets angrier. I'm contemplating. That will allow me to calm myself down. She's right. But also, so Rick's like, okay, did it land? Did it not land? Now that's a better way of doing the breath. The breath is good, but there's a way you have to do it.
It calms down the body. People think that's silly, but it's actually true.
That's true. She's
Because
right.
you need to keep this part of the brain, the part that's like self-control, rational thinking. You need to keep this guy going, not the automatic brain, which is going to come in and
It's not wrong.
attack.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is honor your neighbor. And what does that mean? I'm not
Honor
going to talk
your
to you
neighbor.
like this. I'm going to say, you shouldn't think that. How could you think that? How dare you? That's not going to work.
You're just going to escalate it,
Yeah.
right?
So if I say, though,
Honor
hey,
yourself,
I think
honor
I
your
look at
neighbor.
it differently. Can you explain to me why you feel that way? Tell me how you got there.
All right. Think about that. I look at it differently. Can you tell me how you got there? Do you think that someone who's angry is going to be like, well, yeah, let me explain my... No. Nice concept. It's not going to work in family, right? It's not going to work. Because now you've opened up a debate. I don't want a debate. I want a conversation. There are 2 separate things. How'd you get there? So now I'm going to start tearing your argument apart. Terrible idea. Do not do what she just said. That's a terrible idea. Just say something like, I respect you, or there's love here, or something like that. And what you want to focus on is the outcome, not how you got there. It's that the opposite of what she said is what you want to do. So again, Rick is yelling at me about how, I don't know, Medicare sucks. I don't know. That's what he says, right? So Medicare sucks, terrible. Larry, it's terrible, whatever. And I don't know why you'd even ever support Medicare. We should destroy Medicare tomorrow, whatever. And I want to go, Rick, you and your... I don't want to do that. And I don't want to be like, how'd you get there, Rick? I don't want to be there. What I want to say is, Rick, what do you think we should do? What do you think the outcome is? I mean, are you looking for a totally privatized? What are you looking for the outcome, right? Ask for the outcome. If you focus on the outcome, that sounds like we are in the same spot. We want the same outcome. We're deciding on how we get to one outcome. But what she just said, it actually fights the outcome. She says, how'd you get there? Like, getting there is stupid. You shouldn't be there. Like, you made an error. Let's fight. I'm saying, okay, no, where do you want to be? Okay, so we both want to be there. Now we're going to have a conversation. If Rick honestly believes that I respect him, or depending upon what kind of member he is, that I love him, or both, depending upon the person, and then he believes we both want to go to the same spot, that's going to be a much better conversation, like a way better conversation. And then if he is tied to conservatism or progressivism or Trump or Mamdani or whatever, if I'm like, I'm not saying that person's bad, I'm saying this thing. I'm focused on this thing is what I'm saying. Those 2 things can have us actually have an actual conversation where people are talking. They're talking. And we can end with, Yeah, I don't think that's right. But let's go have some turkey. That's not true, but hey, let's put the game on. And that's what I want. I don't have to get them to agree. I have to get them to still want to hang out together. That's the key. So don't do that second part she said at all. And the breathe part, do it the way I said, not the way she said.
Like, come at it from curiosity. Come at it from a perspective, I want to understand this person.
No, don't do that. That's condescending. That's PhD shit talking. Don't do that. Come at it from the point of we're on the same page. We want to end the same way. Come at it that way.
There's another human being on the other side of this discussion who has the same life events that I've had, trauma, drama, happiness, joy.
Okay, none of that's true. That's fine.
So be curious. And then the third thing is, you just ask that person to share about themselves. You got to share about yourself.
Right.
You got to tell your own story.
Right.
Right. So you want.
They don't want to hear your story. They don't want to hear your story. If they want to hear your story, they'll ask. The glory of any good communication, if you do it right, the people ask for what you want. I mean, ask about you, right? I do this in my networking classes. People always say the same thing. I hear it all the time. You got to have a great elevator pitch to get your word out, get your message out when you're networking. Utter horseshit. Absolutely not true. Hasn't been true in 30 years, and people still teach that garbage. Not true. The goal of any good networking is to have the person want to talk to you more. That's the goal. Good networking encounter, the person wants to talk more. That's the goal. In this kind of conversation, I don't want to tell the people what I think. I want them to ask me what I think. If I do it well, they ask me. I don't have to tell my story. They may not give a shit. This guy just may want to tell you how awesome his idea is, or his people are, or how awesome Mom Donnie is, or how great Trump is, or whatever he's thinking, right? He may care about that. You don't care about what I got to say. But if I say, so what do you want? You want this thing? Yeah, I want that. I want this to happen. Oh, okay. Tell me about this. Okay, blah, blah, blah. All right, well, what do you want? Now I've won. So I don't have to tell them. Good communication, they ask me. So I have an AMA, ask me anything. Now I'm going to tell you everything. I mean, I do tell you everything anyway, but that's because I'm an ass.
Understanding. Because when you understand someone, you're not going to be as upset. Mm-hmm. When we can have empathy, we're less prone to jump and judge.
Yeah.
Right.
I think
well, that's true. She's right, but yeah, her methodology
so easy to forget. Like you said, there's a human on the other side of that conversation, right? And at the end of the day, if you take away all those, heated topics, you still, want to be kind and loving to the person. Yeah. So great.
Yeah, that was fine. Anyway, I want to bring that up to you. I thought it was really interesting that we could bring that piece up. Remember that piece, right? Remember that piece when you're having those conversations to make things better. Because here's the issue. If you have a household where people don't want to come, you may think you've won. You have not. You may think, Jay used to show, but now Jay doesn't come anymore because I taught him a lesson. That's a terrible idea. You've lost. You want everyone to want to come. Assuming you want them there, obviously. Of course, assuming you want them there, yes. You want them all to want to come, right? They may not be able to. Those are going to happen. They may not. But absolutely, you want them to want to come. If you do that right, now you're rocking and rolling. So let me grab a couple comments. I'm grabbing you. Been yapping for half an hour. So how about that? Let me take care of that piece if I can. Let us see here. Mike is in the house. Hey, Larry, an early Merry Christmas to you and all your family. Back at you, my friend. Back at you. Absolutely. We do want everyone to have that good, positive, if at all possible, Merry Christmas if we can. I appreciate that. Yes. All righty. Let's see here. Let's see. Grab this. He goes on to say, as I'm sure Larry will mention, for all those having a tough time in the holiday season, reach out to people around you. Everyone wants you with us this new year. Here's what I want you to bring up. Mike brings a very valid point. Very often, people think that this time of year, you have the most endings of people. It's not true. But this is where it begins. It culminates about 6 months later, 5 months later, when someone hears something, gets something, ruminates, has more failures, doesn't get what they want. Springtime comes and they're still failing or things aren't right. And then they end themselves. But it starts there at this time. Mike is correct. You can chat with people now to ensure it doesn't happen later. This is your chance. just your chance when you talk to people to have that conversation. When someone starts telling you things like things aren't going well or they're unhappy and stuff, here's what I do not want you to do. And it is human nature. Please do not do this. You'll be fine. It'll be great. Look on the bright side. That is a terrible idea. What that actually does is it actually just immediately dismisses all their fears, all their worries. Dismisses them. Your feelings may not be true. It's possible they could be based upon something not real. It's possible. But your feelings exist and are valid because they exist. So if I think, oh my God, I'm the worst person ever, that may not be true, but I still feel it. So my feelings are still valid, even if they're based on something not true. And this is the part that we often don't do well. We go, well, that's obviously dumb and wrong, so let me just tell you how dumb and wrong it is. Well, it doesn't matter if it's dumb and wrong. It might be, but I still have the feelings, and the feelings still matter. So you don't want to just go, when someone says, man, I feel like I'm an idiot and I'm a loser and I'll never be anything. You don't go, look on the bright side. That's not helpful, right? Go, man, it sucks, man. What makes you think that? I'm serious. Why do you think that? Well, because I felt, you felt that. That sucks. Now, why would I say that sucks? Larry, you're making it feel worse. I'm not. I'm actually validating them because it might suck. Sometimes life sucks. It's true. Sometimes the problem is if Mike comes to me and goes, man, stuff's bad for me and this bad thing happened. And I go, think of the bright side. What's wrong with you? Mike, you're a Marine. Get up and do it. He's like, damn, now I feel worse. So my feelings aren't valid. And I did immediately turn around because Larry yelled at me because I'm a Marine. So now I feel like I failed at that. Mike feels worse now. Now, will he try to turn around? Yeah, he's a Marine. He'll try. But if no one's validating him at all, he's immediately going to go out and begin to fail. And then by March and April, the world's ending. But if Mike goes, this bad thing happened to me, whatever it is, and I go, dude, that sucks. He goes, yeah. Now he feels validated. Yeah, I should feel like crap because a bad thing happened to me. Yes. And sometimes life is going to punch you in the face. No matter who you are, who think you are, smart you are, how much money you have, you're going to get punched in the face once in a while by life. That's how it works. We all get that. Well, Mike got punched in the face this time. Okay. Let's see if we can fix this. Let's talk about it. Then later he thinks, yeah, I did feel bad. And I should have felt bad. But that's how the pity party can end. The pity party ends once it's acknowledged. Most of us have a pity party at one point. Most of us do. Stuff happens to us. We feel, woe is me. The world's against us. It's very human and very normal. And most of us do it. So when you do it, the question is your pity party 5 minutes, 5 days, 5 weeks, 5 years? How long is that pity party? You want that pity party to be as short as possible. Now, with more devastating things, the pity party is going to be longer. But you want to be as short as you can possibly make it. You do that, you will change. You will change a whole lot. So, yes, thank you for that. I appreciate that. He is correct. People do want you around. And here's the next piece I'll bring up. Very often, when you feel like you're in trouble or bad or whatever the case may be, you will feel like you're burdened. That's a common problem. I don't want to ask Mike for help because I'm a burden. So I'm not going to call him because I don't want to be a burden to Mike. He's got other shit in his life. I don't need to be a burden to Mike. Here's the reality. Mike wants to help me. He does. He wants to help me. So if I don't call Mike and say, man, I need some help, I'm actually being selfish. I'm being selfish. People need purpose. People want purpose. People want it. So I call up Mike going, dude, I'm in trouble. This thing happened. That thing happened. He's like, I got you. Let's talk. Okay. He's happy to. Now, unless he doesn't care about me, right? I mean, and you're not calling somebody who doesn't care about you. If someone cares about you, they want to help you. That's how it works. Or they don't care about you by default. So if they care about you, they want to help you because they care about you. Don't be selfish and take that away from them. So if I'm in trouble, I'm going to call Mike and say, Mike, I got a problem, man. He's like, okay, let's talk. He wants to. He cares. You are actually being selfish by not asking people who care about you to help them versus being selfish by asking them. Not just that. What if I could have? gone to Mike, and I didn't. I didn't go to him. I didn't ask him for help, nothing. 6 months later, I end myself, thinking I got rid of the problem because I ended myself. What just happened? Mike's going to feel terrible. He's going to feel horrible. He's going to be like, why the hell didn't Larry call me? He didn't trust me enough? I could have helped this dude. Why didn't Larry call me? Why didn't he reach out? Why didn't he tell me? Mike's going to feel terrible. He's like, I would have helped him. If he just would have called me, I'd have went over there. I'd have talked to him. I'd done something. I'd have helped out. I'd have been a shoulder from the crying. I wouldn't have told nobody. I would have told anybody Marine cried. I'd have kept my mouth shut. Actually, Mike probably would have kept his mouth shut. He probably would. It's probably true. He probably wouldn't tell anybody if I was crying on his shoulder. But anyway, he would do it. He'd like, cry on my shoulder, man. Just get it out. You done crying now? Could we now get going? You good with the cry's done? Okay, good. Let's go. That's what Mike would do. And the problem is now he feels worse. So now me getting rid of myself, not only was I selfish and didn't give Mike the opportunity to help, but on top of it, I actually hurt him. Now he's hurt worse. Now he feels worse. He's like, I could have helped that guy. Did he not trust me? Was it me? Now Mike's doubting himself. Was I not open? Did I not let him know? Was I busy when he was calling me? What happened? Now he's doubting himself. So I'm going to ask you again, if you're in trouble, reach the people who care about you and let them know. Let them help. And if you're the person who's calling, and this is the hard part, if someone's calling you and saying, I'm in trouble, it feels awkward. It feels bad. You want to solve it. It's human nature. Again, it's natural. We want to just solve it and go, I got you. It's fine. Let's fix it. There's no worries. We're good. But you sometimes want to acknowledge the pity party, even though it feels awkward. You can't get past the pity party until you acknowledge it. I get it. You feel like crap. That thing shouldn't happen. That sucks. You will watch when you tell people this, they'll often begin to relax. If I go to Mike and go, this bad thing happened, and Mike goes, yeah, that sucks, man. Happened to me once too. Terrible. Hated it. I felt like I wanted to end it. And I'm like, damn, it's not just me. Mike felt it too. Mike felt it too. Now the pity party begins to be, okay, maybe I shouldn't be, maybe I got to end this pity party. And Mike goes, yeah, might be time to end this pity party, man. Maybe we should end this. I still want to cry some. Okay, keep crying. Tell me when you're done crying. You done crying? Okay, good. Now it's done? Okay, now it's done. Fine. Whatever. You need an extra couple minutes of crying. All right, fine. You done whining now? You done whining about how the world is against you? I'm done. It was good. Okay, it felt good. Now let's move forward. And I think that's a critical piece. I'm sorry, I went very long, but what Mike just said is very important. I want to make sure I covered it. So, Peace Logic is here. How are you, my friend? Thank you for $10. Larry, if a company came up with a way to take down Google, Apple, OpenAI, Facebook, eBay, Microsoft, etc., do you think that company would be in danger? It's just a thought experiment. Yes. And the reason wouldn't be necessarily from them. The problem is Google, Apple, OpenAI, Facebook, eBay, Microsoft, they have so much political power. Because they have so much political power, they would probably use the government to shut these people down, whatever it is, right? It's a company that, whatever, has the greatest AI technology that can destroy them all. I'm making this up, right? It's a thought experiment. We'll go down that road. They can use their magical AI to trash all these places, whatever, to get rid of them all. I think they would use the government to say, oh, it's a monopoly rule, so we got to break you up or fine you, or who were you owned by, or it's a security threat, the government has to take it, or something. I have a feeling if that were to happen, that these groups would use the government to take it down, which means if someone has that power, they would need to get involved with the government immediately. That sounds horrible. I know I'm libertarian saying this, but I'm just being forward because you'd have to defend yourself. You'd have to use government to defend yourself against government. So you'd have to do that. I don't know how else you do it. Otherwise, they'd probably stop you in that regard. Unless you were so stealthy that you could make the assault so fast the government can react, because the government's slow to react. They would react faster. So maybe if you did that, it could work. Or you just jumped on the government and said, hey, government, I'm giving you this ability to control and take down all these guys. You can use it if you want. And the CIA would be like, really? Yes, you can. FBI, we could use it to crush. Yeah. Just give me what I want so I don't go under, and I'll let you use it to crush your enemies as much as you want. They might go, that's a good idea. Let's keep that guy around. They might like that. That's what I'm saying. They might like that. So hope I answered your question. Lunatic says, oh, thank you for $10, my friend. $5, my friend. Does my purpose come from creation? Does my purpose come from experience? How are you trained? Here is what I will say. Being human, you have a very important, very valuable thing that no other creature on the planet has. No other plant, no other animal has. And that is we have the ability to decide the value of our life and our purpose. So we can decide that. Now, does our purpose come from creation or experience? I think that it's never just nature or nurture. I think it's always both. And the trained part is the experience. I think those go together. So my creation may make me more likely to want something, do something, act a certain way. But my experience or my training, to your point, will also move me in a certain direction. When you combine those two, I think that's where your purpose, I think, comes from. And I've had many callings in my life. One of them was actually be a soldier. I told that story about how I became a Marine. I actually wanted to be a soldier. I didn't want to be a Marine. I wanted to be a soldier. My father, and that was because of my father. My father was in the Army. He met my mother in Germany when he was in the Army. So I thought, well, as you know, Dad. My dad died when I was young. I didn't have a father when I was a teenager. And I thought, well, I'll follow my father's footsteps. My calling was that. Now, is that from creation, or is that from the experience of losing my father? Well, part of it was creation because I was created by a guy who was in the Army. So part of that's creation. And my experience was he died and I wanted to follow in his footsteps. Now, I became a Marine. I think that's better. Anyway, so I did that. I think that's true. That was a good calling for me. I think a teacher was a calling for me. Some of that's from my creation, my personality that makes me a decent teacher compared to some other people who don't like to be in front of rooms, right? If you like to be in front of a room, a lot of that is creation, but it's also my experience of being in front of rooms. So I think that's also something. So I think it's both. I think it's both. And here's a piece. Okay, you know what? I'll divvy up your experience and training. Experience is not always voluntary. Training usually is. Experience can be voluntary, but isn't always, right? When stuff just hits you, right? I got to experience it. But training usually is voluntary. So I will say your creation and your experience, with that, you should be deciding how you are trained, right? Your creation and experience should be enough in your brain to go, okay, I need to be trained this way or that way because of my creation and my experience. I hope that's clear. Thanks for the super chat, brother. I appreciate it. All right. Grab some of these right here if I can. All righty. Andrew says, glad to see you all spreading the word. Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate it. That is awesome. All right. Missy says, check out Civil at watch.civil.com. It's full of great content like the Sharpe Way show. Yep. They're our show sponsor. True. You can use code Larry10 to get 10% off. True. There is one piece that's popping up right now, and I'll put this up right now. Since we're talking about Civil, I know we are because, of course, she has said so, which smart move. I do appreciate that. So we're talking about Civil right now. Now, Civil has a very special show on. You see it all the time. Words and numbers. They talk about words and numbers often, and they give you a lot of good concepts. Here we talk about we love inequality. That seems insanely like, no, we all want equality. Not according to these dudes.
Next on Words and Numbers, the Danish Post Office. AI runs a vending machine, spreadsheets, and should we really care about inequality? All this and more coming up next on Words and Numbers. The Civil.
Wait a minute. Should we not care about inequality? Sacrilege.
Original production. Check us out at civil.com. That's CIVL.com.
Hi, I'm
now with the words and numbers. You will see them
customized
talking.
Version of the model, and Claudius would run the vending machine, ordering in.
Now we're talking about AI running a vending machine, a conversation back and forth. What's happening in today's world? What actually matters? This is what you get in Civil. It isn't just entertainment. It is entertainment, but it isn't just that. It is real conversations with what actually is happening. AI running vending machines. Imagine you can make vending machines and walk away. Just walk away. Let it run everything. Not a bad deal. Not a bad deal. How important is equality, inequality? We can figure this out. Having conversation with what's happening right now is what civil's about. Upgrading civilization. That's what we're talking about. Without the conflict machine, without that back and forth on holidays, we don't have that here in civil. We have actual conversation. Even when we fight each other, it's conversations on civil, not you're stupid, even if someone might be stupid. That's not what we do. We have a conversation. We're upgrading civilization without the conflict machine. Head on over to civil.com. Put in code Larry10 for 10% off. Why? Because I'm on Civil too. You can get my shows on Civil and 6 of my very special We Fix It Wednesdays only on Civil. Civil.com, Larry10 for 10% off. Thank you, Missy. Missy knows what she's doing. I appreciate Missy. All right, let me keep grabbing some more comments if I could. And we are on the holiday show, so I appreciate that. All right, here. Andrew says, love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always preserves. Nice. Very nice. Yes. And look, love can be tough. Absolutely. It can be tough. It can be challenging on many levels. But feeling loved is one of the 3 parts of happiness. Feeling respected, feeling loved, and having purpose. Those 3 things make you happy. So you're absolutely right, Andrew. Thank you for that. So, all righty. Let me see if I can go down that road a couple more of these if I can. Stop the man that says, who do you think would be less likely to talk politics or to someone family over politics, left or right? I'm without question the left. It's not even close. Some of you may be angry, but it's absolutely true. Because remember, the left dismisses, the right distracts. They're 2 separate tactics. The left is far more likely to walk away, and the right is far more likely to fight. So they're far more likely to. Now, don't get me wrong. Does the right disown? Yes. Does the left conversate? Yes. But overall, likelihood, by percentage, the left will dismiss far more than the right will. But again, that's by percentage. You can always find exceptions. So I hope that makes sense. Thank you. All right. D says, your fave WWE character, putting a politician on a pedestal is weird. I may have higher regards for Thomas Massey, but I also hold him at a higher level if he goes off course. Left and right doesn't do that. True. You're right. Robert says, if we're limiting the discussion to those people who are virtue signaling, then okay, maybe. But I'm over pretending as if people's political beliefs don't have real world consequences. You're not wrong that they have consequences, but they're your family. And do you think you're going to change your family by scolding them? Are you going to change your family by yelling at them or by not talking to them? Of course not. All you're going to do is ensure they keep their view and you lose your family. That doesn't make sense to me, right? Most of my friends here in New York City vote Kathy Hochul. Most of them, maybe most of them, probably half of them didn't vote for me. Yes, half didn't vote for me. Do I now not talk to them anymore because they voted for Kathy Hochul? Do I yell at them whenever I see them because they voted for Kathy Hochul? Does it make any sense? Me yelling at them or scolding them or ignoring them, not going to change the vote. And I lose my friend now. That doesn't make sense to me. I'd rather keep talking to them because some of them I have moved over my multiple runs. Some I moved. Many of them in 2018 did not vote for me. Many of my friends didn't. It's just true. Many did not vote for me. 2022, they actually thought about it. Now they're thinking about, you know what? I might vote for you a lot more. Many didn't give me money. Some of them are now. So we're seeing it change over time. So I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying it doesn't work. That's what I'm saying. Has yelling Trump bad worked? Has yelling Hochul bad worked? No. You know what has worked? The real world consequences. That has worked. So I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying it doesn't work. It's simply practical. So yes. All righty. Massman now says, I'm getting snockered on eggnog. Good for you, man. I like that. I like that. Rick says, partisans is a guy who thinks his stripper actually likes him. Yeah. Well, stripper might like you. It's possible, I guess, but not the way you think they do. So yes. D says, who still has Christmas shopping to do? Yeah, I do. True. Robert goes on to say, if there are people who believe slavery was an overall boon for Black Americans because it brought them out of Africa to America and gave them proximity to white civilization and technology. Hold on, you got more on this? Hold on, do you have more? Then nah, I'm good going no contact with people like that. And that has nothing to do with virtue signaling. The difference is people who are authentic in their beliefs. Now, hold on, let me give you my exception here, Robert. I'm with you. I think it's terrible if someone thinks that. But so what? If they're my family. Let's say I have family. And my family is black and white. So let's say my family says, hey, look, I don't know why you black people are so mad. Now you're hanging out with white people and you're in America now. Would you rather be here or in Africa? And people say that shit, of course. Is me ignoring them going to make them rethink that? No. Is me yelling at them going to make them rethink that? No. So now I've just lost my family member. Again, I said the family, not outside acquaintances. I've lost my family member who I may need, who may need me. I've lost them. That's not good. No one's helpful on that one. But if I stay with them and every once in a while have a conversation with them, the way I said have a conversation with them, hey, what are you trying to achieve? Hey, I respect you. I love you, right? That kind of thing. And maybe in this case, you don't respect them, but you might still love them because maybe they're your uncle or your cousin, or you may still love them, but you don't respect them. Maybe you don't respect them because it's like this. I get that, which is why I said love or respect. You might say love. And the more you have a conversation, the more they're going to think, maybe Robert's right. Now, that might take 6 months. That might take 6 years. That might take 60 years. I don't know. But either way, I don't lose my family. That's the key. So no, I would disagree with you in a case of family. Others, I think you're right. Family, I disagree. I would rather keep my family even if they think this way. I would. And I think that if I do this well enough and communicate good enough, I can change them. Yes. Phil says, I don't think Larry even views people who hate him as his enemy. True. Rick's got jokes today. If you irritate my gut, you are my enemy. We got jokes. All right. Phil, he's making it look bad. Phil usually got jokes. No, he does. So, all righty. I'll keep doing this here. I got more of these. So many of these. I appreciate all these. D says, the word in the street says Sharpe Way medias in general are up. True. Just reached 10,000 on Facebook, and YouTube is up. Hopefully that means more people are coming to the Sharpe Bubble. Please come to the Sharpe Bubble. Please come to the Sharpe Bubble. I love that idea. Come, the weather's good. Yes. The lovely Christina says, we agree on so much more than we disagree upon. Depends upon the people. But I hope your family agrees on more. I hope so, at least. Right? And if that happens, you can have that conversation. That's my hope. We'll see if that works. Let's see. I grabbed a bunch of these if I could. And then she goes on to say, gratitude conquers all, though. Life is short. We only get people for a short time. There's the worst part. And I'll go back to what Robert says. What if I got an uncle or aunt who thinks what you just said? Slavery was an overall good thing. See, the black people are good in America, whatever. They believe that. And then 2 years from now, I haven't talked to them because I showed them. I don't talk to them. And then they die. Now I lost them. I don't have a chance to go back and talk to them. No chance to fix things. No chance to spend time with them. Have them with my kids, or whatever the case may be. I've lost all of that now over something that alone doesn't matter. And I even say this one, I'm using what you're talking about. If a person honestly believes that, so what? Are we going to bring back slavery? No. Are we going to start attacking black people in the streets? No. It's not a thing. That's not going to affect any of that. It's a terrible thing to say, but doesn't matter. In reality, it doesn't matter. I'd rather have my family. And let's say I don't want him around my kids because he'll say that stuff. Let's say he does. Say he starts saying to my kids, slavery was a good thing, blah, blah, blah. Okay, great. That's not a bad thing. My kids get exposed to that and come home and say, Dad, is slavery a good thing? And I go, no, it wasn't a good thing. Let me explain why. We have a conversation. Still good. Now, they all of a sudden don't buy him. They don't buy his BS. So no one around him begins to buy his BS, but they're not mad at him. They still love him. And the kids to go hang out with him and go have ice cream with him. He starts thinking, maybe I'm wrong. Or maybe I should stop talking about it. Both wins. They take time. But if we love that person, their family, take the time. Christina is correct. JGJ says, thoughts on the rise of attachment issues. They're all over the place. And this is because people don't feel respected. People don't feel loved. That's the reason why. Think about it. Whatever you can easily get, you don't respect. So that's wrong as well. Whatever you can easily get, you don't value, not respect. It could be respect. You don't value. So if you always, your entire life, had money your whole life. Money, they threw money at you. You always have money your whole life. You don't really value it that much. Like, it's just money. I always had money. If you always had friends, same thing. I always had friends. I don't care. I always had friends. If you always had girls or you always had boyfriends, whatever, you don't really value. You already had them. But what if you never had a girlfriend? Never. Then you got one. What if you never really had money and now you got some? If you never really had friends, all of a sudden you got one. Attachment issues are for people not feeling loved and respected. That's where that's from. Because they didn't get it. So they're attached to all types of things. Whatever gives them respect or gives them validation. One of the reasons why social media has wrecked so many women, doesn't wreck as much men. Video games have wrecked men. Social media has wrecked women. Again, statistically, there's exceptions, obviously. Why? Because the validation that women get from social media and the validation that men get from, particularly group gaming, particularly when it comes to video games, they get validation from it. It becomes addictive. It becomes attachment issues. If you ask men to date a woman when they give up video games, most men will say no. Again, if you're that man who does multiple player video gaming, if you're that guy, most will say no. If you ask women who have big social media, big Instagrams or big TikTok accounts, they will give up their account for a man. They'll say no. They'll say no. But if those men or women were getting that validation from their partner, they wouldn't care about the video games as much or about the social media account as much. So yes, I think attachment issues is because we have not been connecting as much, which is, again, I'll go back to my issue with Robert. I don't want to end my family. I want more family. I want more friends. I want more people around me. I've said before, we've fallen back to the nuclear family as the best way to raise children. It isn't. It's better than single moms. Better than that, for sure. But the best way to raise children is extended family. The best way to have people together is extended family. That's what I want. That's my best case scenario. Now, we started wrecking that when we started to, bring people into factories and such. But that's fine. We could have fixed it. We, in many cases, didn't. And now we're down to just not even people being in the same cities anymore. It's a problem. So, yes. Excuse me. All right. Phil's going to pat them on the head. I hope you don't mean someone who's upset, because that can become really angry. When you want to come to somebody when they're upset with you and just try to shut them up by hugging, by patting, anything like that, it can seem like you're belittling them. It can make them angrier. Now, there is an exception. If you're getting into a heated conversation with a partner, and I mean like a loved one, a significant other, if you are both religious, particularly if you're both the same religion and religious, this is an advantage. What I mean by that, I'm not joking. So you're getting into an argument, sake of argument, you're Christian, she's Christian, and you're both getting into a heated argument. You can ask that woman and say, hey, I know we're mad right now. Can we stop for just a minute and pray? Can we just pray that we get through this? Can we just do that? Now, if you're not religious or a different religion, that may not work. But assuming that both of you are religious and both of you are the same religion, that can easily, it's hard for her to go, no. Some might, she's really pissed. But again, repeat. The rule when people are so angry, you just stop and repeat. I know, I hear you. Can we just a minute and just pray that we can get through this? What will that do? It's showing that she's involved and you're involved. It isn't us. It isn't me versus her. It is us in a situation we got to fix. I just put you both on the same team. But if I pat her on the head, oh my God, I just be quiet and give her a hug. Just tell her she's fine. That ain't gonna work. That's not gonna work. But something like that, I just told you, that kind of thing could work. Absolutely. So yes. Missy says, I care about my family, so we rarely really talk much about politics. That may be the right answer. Yes. Mike, of course, goes, she attacked capitalism after making money on her book and appearing on major media. Yes, not a hypocrite at all. Not a hypocrite at all, Mike. Not at all. That totally tracks. Yes, I love that. All righty. If I can go there. Phil goes, it's all about me. Yes, it is. All about me. I love that. Okay, here. If I walk down that road, so many of these, excuse me. All right. Phil says, normally when I talk to a liberal, I imagine them as a Klingon. Oh, if that works, I don't know why that would work, but okay. There we go. I guess so. So Mastermind says, blocking people is an admission of willful ignorance. It's funny. It is rare that I block people. I usually only block them if they start attacking my chat or my group. If they attack me, I don't usually block them. Most people who attack me, I'm like, fine, you keep attacking me. I don't mind. Right? Whatever the case may be. So, all righty. Phil says, your voice sounds better. How are you feeling? I think I'm getting better, but I haven't kicked it yet. Like I haven't kicked it yet. I got a little bit left in me. It's not, I'm on my way. Hopefully by Christmas, I'll have kicked it. Thank you for asking, my friend. I appreciate that. But I am better, but I haven't kicked it yet. I'm still working on it. So yes. All right. D says, it's episodes like this that bring out the life coaching, Larry, and I'm here for it. It's true. And here's the issue. To be very forward with you. Most life coaches are terrible. Most are. Most of them are affirmation coaches. The problem is affirmation coaches, along with affirmation therapy, is really lucrative. Clearly, I'm not a gazillionaire because I won't do that. I have this horrible thing, D, that's called, ethics. Right. Yeah. I can't do that. So I can't just do that. And what do I mean by that? Most coaches, not all, but I'm talking over 50%, maybe 80%, a huge chunk of them are affirmation. What does that mean? When you go to them and say, I've got a problem, they go, it's okay. It's valid. You're right. They're all wrong. You're a queen. You're a king. You're amazing. You're awesome. And you might not be. Larry, you would tell us when they're not awesome? Yes, I would. Yes, I would, which is why I have success, which is why people who stay with me stay a very long time with me when they can, and who also wind up paying decent cash. I don't coach much anymore. I spend most of my time doing this, but when I coach, I'm a very expensive coach. I'm more expensive than most PhDs, most of them. Yes. Why? Because I don't do affirmation coaching. No, nowhere here that I talk about affirmation. Talk about how to make the next step. Yes. So now you guys get a lot of stuff for free. Look at that. That's amazing. Thank you for that. Being a coach is tough. If you are an affirmation coach. Being a therapist is tough if you're not an affirmation therapist. So yes. Yes. Logica, how are you, my dear? So good to see you here. Become a YouTube member. Thank you. Love it. Love it. I think I may have to get you back on the show again. I appreciate that. Yes. So speaking of that, I do want to ask you guys a question. There are ways that you can, in your own way, kind of almost coach yourself in a way, right? That's asking yourself important questions. One way you can do that is by heading over, if you don't mind, to the advocates. You can head over to the advocates. It's the Advocates for Self-Government. There's a link that is literally in the description of YouTube, Facebook, and Rumble. Head over to the articles. In the articles, go under human respect, right? Articles and human respect, and look for this one. One shot at life. Are you living free? It's a short article, but just read it. Are you steering your life in a way that gets you free? You have one shot at life. Lunatic brings this up all the time, and he's right. Talking about this. How do you deal with freedom? How do you deal with self-governance? How do you decide what's right and what's wrong? Right? What's the truth? How should you live your life? Are you an example to the people around you? Are you betraying yourself when you're not? What to talk about? 3 questions at the end to ask. And then once you're done, do me a favor. You read this article. I want you to grade it and then share it. Grade it and share it. Please do both of those, grade and share. If you do this, other people will see it. They'll talk about it, more conversations. Why do I want the Advocates for Self-Government to be here? Why am I behind them? Because they're getting people to think. They're getting people to think about how do they govern themselves. I talk all the time about changing culture to where people accept that, hey, I can govern myself. I need to. We can govern ourselves. Yes, we can. That takes culture change. That takes inner work. The advocates help to make that happen. Head over to theadvocates.org. Use the link in the description that I showed you, And please read this specific article. Head over to the articles, Human Respect, and this one, One Shot at Life, Are You Living Free? Read it, grade it, share it. Do that to support us. It's free. It supports the show. Please take care of that, theadvocates.org. Thank you guys for that. I appreciate that. It is amazing for you guys helping me out. I need every bit I can, so please keep helping me out. All right. I've walked down those roads. I'm glad I walked down those. All righty. I grabbed that piece already. All righty. Rick Plus says, my left brain and right brain sometimes play tug of war across my corpus callosum. They're supposed to. That's kind of their job. So Little Frog says, wishing you and your family all a Merry Christmas. All right, thank you, my friend. Back to you. Absolutely. I appreciate that. Yes, absolutely true. I do appreciate that. I feel the same way. So, all righty. That's towards Mike. You guys are going back and forth. I love that piece also. Rick says, purpose is choice. Beyond that, I can't define purpose for anyone. But realizing purpose, if the point of being here is in this strange world. Yes. Okay. Walk down this road. Number one piece here I want to bring up is your purpose can be someone else's purpose. It doesn't have to be your own. It can be someone else's. It's okay if they mix and match. Totally fine. It can work as long as you find one. So it can be. But you're right. It's a choice. Sometimes it seems like it's put upon us, but we still choose. So yes. All righty. See. Lunatic, $5. Thank you. Can you give me your best? You're a losing champ. You've got 3 minutes. It's life or death, kid. Speech from my corner man. Then I become world champ. Yes. But notice, even in that one, this wasn't affirmation. It wasn't affirmation. It's reality. You're losing. Truth, not affirmation. It's truth. It's not affirmation. Not, you're the best. You could do it. It wasn't that. It was, dude, you're losing. You got 3 minutes. What are you going to do? How do we make this work? I remember there was a movie from the 80s. It was very popular in the 80s. It was called Chariots of Fire. Is that one? No. Wrong one. Not run. That's not, they're very similar movies. Where's that one? No. It's not that one. Sorry. Wrong one. This movie was similar concept. It was called Gallipoli. Was it? No. There's 3 movies that were like, they're all together and saying, I think, all right, now I'm going to forget which one was which. I think it was a movie called The Light Horseman now. God, I'm all over the place. But all of them about runners, which is why they're all about runners. These movies about runners. And I think this one actually was The Light Horseman, who were also about runners. I think that's right. Australians, if I'm not mistaken, Australian runners. And the coach goes to the one guy he's coaching, and he says, how fast can you run? And he says, as fast as a leopard. He goes, okay. How fast are you gonna run? As fast as a leopard. That's the difference. You could do it. It's nice. Are you gonna do it? Way better. Way better. Because this is earlier to Rick's point. I don't want to give you purpose. You have to find it. So your point is, all right, lunatic, you're losing. You got 3 minutes. Are you going to do this or not? Are you going to do this or you're not? Don't lie to me. If you're going to do it, I'll throw the towel in. Let's not mess around. Tell me you can't do it. You're not going to do it. I'll throw the towel in. You lost. It's over. You're going to do something. I didn't tell you you could do it. You got to do it. You're going to. I asked you a question. Lunatic, are you going to take this up and do this or not? Remember earlier I talked about the idea of the general being on the beach during D-Day. The idea of, this was a different show. Sorry. Okay. This is the show I did this morning. I do too many shows. So anyway, I'll tell a story now. There's a story about D-Day, June 6th, 1944, when one of the beaches, they were doing very poorly. And the general actually realizes, I got to hit the beach myself because this is failing. So the general comes on the beach himself. Look, the general's on the beach, right? The general. And he's seeing people fighting, dying all over the place. And he finds a private who's cowering. And he goes to the private. He says, private, where's your rifle? Because he doesn't have his rifle with him. Because he got scared, dropped the rifle and ran, right? And he goes, where's your rifle? He goes, it's over there. He goes, Aren't you going to get it? Aren't you going to need it today? Private's like, yeah. And he goes to the rifle. So the general didn't order him to get the rifle. He didn't say, get the rifle. He didn't say that. He goes, you don't need it, right? Private's like, yeah, I can't just sit here and die. Probably going to fight back. So I probably should get that rifle. Yeah, you probably should. So again, in each of those cases, I'm not giving you purpose. I'm not telling you what to do. And as a coach, I never tell you what to do. Never tell you what to do. You got to decide on your own. It has to be your own purpose that you come up with. So thank you for that. You are correct, Lunatic. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. All right. And where am I here? You guys have so many. I'm going to grab a couple more of these if I can. You guys have picked up some. I love all the stuff we're going back and forth with. HVAC always says, one thing to remember is that some people who are depressed are too depressed to unalive themselves. Come springtime, now they're happy in springtime. They have the strength. The issue is also sometimes, remember something. Sometimes being sad is still an emotion. And the emotion means you're alive, right? And it sounds silly, but it means you're alive. And I deal with this when I deal with people who are, I think, maybe prepared to do something. How calm are they? Right? If they're not calm, they're probably not serious. I don't mean to be flippant, but I'm just being forward. Usually they're not serious. Looking for attention, want some help. Give them that. Not saying ignore them, but give them that. But understand that. When they're calm about it, not serious. Yes. Now it's serious. Rick says we can get caught in a loop. Being depressed is quite human. Yep. But depression robs us now. Yes. We get caught in the past or a future that never. Yes. 100%. It does wind up screwing us. 100%. Yes. Nosy says, I've lost almost every left-winger friend I had before the 2024 election. Yes. The left will leave you. The left will, remember, the left dismisses. The right will fight. The left dismisses. And it says, many people are unhappy during the holidays because unrealistic expectations. Yep. People should focus on what is really important, which is friends and family. Cherish the time you get to spend together. Totally agree. Most people are upset because they think it has to be some kind of magical thing. It isn't. Yes. Shreya says, 6 days, 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years from now, you might realize you were wrong. Yes. But I go one step further. I use this all the time with addicts. I want to have a world where addicts can still communicate with their families. Not easy. You see some of my policies. I'll talk about this idea. I don't know if it's the first I love you, the 100th I love you, the 1000th I love you, but one of those I love yous might get that person to go, you know what? I'm ready to change. I don't know when, but yes. Patty says, didn't Archie, Edith, Mike, and Gloria teach us how family disagrees work? Yes, All in a Family, Patty. Yes, All in a Family. Meathead. And Rob Ronald just got taken out by his family. Yes. And I don't think it was because of politics. It was other stuff. But yeah, absolutely. Rick says, gratitude can get you through a lot. My mom lived 7 more years after a heart attack, and I was able to do it here and be here at the end. Oh, do it here. That's being able to pass away at home with loved ones is amazing when people get to do it. So many people don't get to do that. So yes, I'm sad your mom passed, but if you got to go, not a bad way to go, right? Yes. All righty. Phil says, attachment leads to anger. Attachment leads to hate. Attachment leads to the dark side. Yes, absolutely. True. All righty. My family plays D&D, so we're okay. I like that idea. Yes, I like that idea. That is good. All right. Andrea says, I don't need a coach because I know I'm awesome. All right. That's a good point. And here's the reality. If you are awesome, you may need a coach. What do I mean by that? It is very easy for you individually to go from terrible to mediocre. Anyone can do that. A little bit of work. Anyone can go from terrible to mediocre. To go from mediocre to good, most people can do that on their own too. Hard work, a lot of focus. You can get from mediocre to good. To get from good to great is tougher. And you almost always need a coach to do that, or a trainer or some kind of specialist. Almost always. Not 100%, but almost always someone to guide you through that because you're too close to it. You can't see it. So you can't move from that good to great. To get from great to amazing, really hard with that coach. So you need to work harder to gain less. So generally speaking, that's true. If you're happy being mediocre, you're any coach. If you're happy being good, you can just work hard. You're any coach. You're gonna be great. You probably is, and again, not necessarily a personal coach, but some kind of coach, some kind of trainer, coach, mentor, close friend, somebody who's outside doing that. So yes. All righty. I think I grabbed a bunch of those. I do appreciate all this work, guys. And also back with so many of these. Okay. Adironic says, I get purpose confused with dolphins. I mean, come on. Got jokes today? Rick says, Gallipoli is a World War I movie. Yes, and so is The Light Horseman. That's why I confuse those guys. Gallipoli and The Light Horseman are both World War I movies, and both Anzacs versus Turks. One is Gallipoli, which is Gallipoli was the Turks at the Bosphorus, maybe there, I think it was. And then the other one is Beersheba, which is, I think, modern day Israel. But it's the Middle East, that is Palestine then, or whatever it was called back in those days. So yeah, so both of those are World War I movies. Yes. HVAC says Gallipoli is World War I, and I think that's, yes. I forgot. I think it was, they were about runners though. Like they were runners who joined the military. So I think it was one of those. I don't think it was Chariots of Fire. Chariots of Fire was just about the Olympics. So I don't think it was Chariots of Fire. Initially I thought, because that was a runners movie also. So, but it was about the Olympics. It was either Gallipoli or it was The Light Horseman. I forgot which one it was, but either one it was fast. Now I'm gonna check. You guys, I'm blaming you. Hold on. I'm now gonna find it. I'm sure I can find it someplace which one it was. Now you're making me do it. Hold on. Stop. Oh, I'm screwing that up. Now I'm messing everything up. Hold on. I guess I won't be doing that. Alrighty. That's why I'm trying to do work two things at the same time. All right, let me try it now. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. And it was Gallipoli. That's what it was, Gallipoli. There we go. That was the movie. All righty, hold on, because you guys did this. It was Gallipoli. That was the movie. It was not The Light Horseman. Gallipoli, by the way, great movie. I did enjoy it. By the way, Gallipoli, it's about runners running messages back and forth because that's what they had. So, yes.
That's it. Now on the spot. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. What are your legs?
Springs. Steel springs.
What are they going to do?
Hurl me down the track.
How fast can you run?
As fast as a leopard.
How fast are you going to run?
As fast as a leopard.
Then let's see you do it.
Note, there you go. That was not, you could do it. That was, what is this? What is that? What are you going to do? Then go do it. That is effective coaching. Far better than, you could do it. You're amazing. You're awesome. So yes, that movie is Gallipoli, a good movie. I won't tell you the ending. Watch it if you want to. There we go. All right. Adironic says, now the chariots and music. Yes. Vangelis, is that right? Vangelis, the movie. I think that's true. There we go. All right. Yes. I don't think it was the 2012 Olympics. I don't think it was. The movie is like from 1980 or something. So it wasn't 2012 for sure. Yes. All righty. Robert says, all you have to do is look at the condition of families in America to understand that the ties that bind families together need to be built on something stronger than love. Yes and no, right? They don't need to be built on something stronger than love unless you have a system that breaks them, and a system has broken them. So yes, absolutely. So, all righty. Lunatic says, tip, team, clip that speech, make a short. Thank you. I appreciate that. There we go. Listen to what Lunatic says. He's right. Yes. All righty. So I hope that was interesting for you guys. So, all righty. Let's see. I grabbed that one. Rick says, meh, good enough. Mediocrities. Boo. You guys all got jokes. I'm not laughing at him, though. Come on. Come on now. Nosy says, this group is what I live for. Thank every one of you. Everyone on holiday season. Oh, so sweet. You guys are killing it. Rick Boss says, love Vangelis with John Anderson better than Chariots of Boredom. I like that. Watching you on 2 laptops so I can double like the show. Look at that. We are killing it tonight. I do enjoy that. Hope you guys enjoyed that Chariots of Fire. Sorry. that Gallipoli piece. It was a decent movie. I really did enjoy it. I saw it many years ago. It came out in I think 81, 82. So, yeah. Mastermind House says, spoilers, the Allies win. Gallipoli? No, they didn't. They did not. Gallipoli was not a win. Gallipoli was a disaster. That was not a win. That's what I'll say. So, yeah. Any case, I don't want to give a spoiler, but the Brits did not win Gallipoli. That was not a thing. In fact, it was such a screw up. It was horrible how bad the screw up was. It was a terrible screw up. It did not go well for them. So, yes. Guys, I want to ask a couple things if I can. Please click the like button. I ask you all the time. Please do so. Also, if you would, I would assist. I would really like it if you would share this. You post it someplace. It does matter. If you haven't subscribed to the page, please do so. Every subscription does matter. I really appreciate it. I'm going to ask you something else. I will not be on tomorrow for the next 2 days. I won't be on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, but I'll be back on after that. I'll be spending some time with my family and friends and that kind of thing, as I hope all of you will too. Please have a Merry Christmas if you celebrate. If you don't, enjoy your time off if you can. I think all of that's good. It does matter. No matter what I talk about, your family matters. Even if you don't want to be with them, they still matter. They're the ones who hopefully will be with you in your final days also, and when you're in trouble. So if you can, if not family, friends, whatever the case may be, it does matter if you can. So please do that. Also remember, this is not live. If this is not live, that's fine. But remember, I want to bring up, if after this live, please comment. Here's what I want you to comment on, if you could. What are you doing for the Christmas holiday weekend? That's it. What are you doing for the Christmas holiday weekend? Whether you celebrate or not, if you're working, just put on working. Whatever you're doing, please let me know what you're doing for Christmas holiday weekend. And if you're watching this when it's not live, do me a favor, click on one of the 2 videos that pop up right away to watch them, because Mr. Rhythm loves that. Algo Rhythm. I will see you all very soon.